Welcome to another edition of Chez Say from Paris. In honor of Mother's Day, I'm going to make my grandfather's secret recipe for blueberry buttermilk pancakes. So I've got all my mise en place together. I've sifted my flour, my baking powder, my sugar, and my salt. I have my my egg yolk mixed with my buttermilk. And then over here I have my egg white, which I'm going to whip up in a second. And it's always best to use good old-fashioned elbow grease because that's the best way to get a light and fluffy pancake. One of the best ways to whip an egg white is to tilt your bowl slightly like this and put your whisk in a circular motion to get the most air into your egg white. So I've whipped my egg whites to soft peaks. As you can see, they're not super stiff. That's going to aid in the incorporation of all the ingredients. You want to do this at the very last minute because you don't want your egg whites to fall. So I'm going to start with my dry ingredients, and I've sifted these beforehand. That helps make a lighter, airier pancake. I'm just going to add my wet ingredients in. I've also got a couple tablespoons of melted butter that's cooled down a bit. I'm going to add that. My grandfather used to add shortening, but since I'm not a shortening kind of girl, I like butter. I use that instead. So we're just going to incorporate this in a couple swift strokes. It's important not to mix the batter too much. It's okay if it's lumpy. And let me tell you, this is 10 times better than any stuff you will ever buy in the box. So, okay, even though our batter is not completely incorporated, we are going to go ahead and add our egg whites. And again, you want to be as gentle as possible when folding these in, because it's going to make this supremely wonderful pancake. My grandfather used to make these for me and my mom when we would go up to visit. And that is just about done. Now, I'm also going to add my blueberries. I bought a box of blueberries. They're not exactly in season right now. This little box cost me about €6, which is approximately $8. But let me tell you, it's worth it because they taste so good. So I'm going to add these to my batter. And one of the reasons why I'm not adding it while they're in the pan is because they tend to stay whole and they don't pop when you're cooking them. Alright. I've got my batter incorporated. Let's get cooking. Okay, now that I've got my pan preheated, and it's very important to preheat your pan because you want to get a nice crispy brown underside, but you want to make sure it's cooked in the middle. And I have mine on a medium-high heat. So, let's go ahead and put these in the pan and make whatever size of pancakes you want. Mine, of course, always turn out lopsided. My grandfather's were always perfectly round. And you're going to let these cook until the edges become slightly dry and they're just nice and brown underneath. As you can see, they've dried out along the edges and the bubbles have popped. So we're just going to slide our spatula under here. I'm really bad at this. And flip them over like that. And you can see they start to inflate immediately as they're flipped. Just going to make for a fabulous pancake. And a couple minutes on the other side, and these babies will be ready for the plate. Alright, these are ready to go. So I'm going to just remove them from the pan and flip them on the plate here. Oh gosh, these are so good, and they so remind me of summers at my grandfather's place. Add a little bit of butter, of course. Well, maybe a bit of butter. And I'm using real maple syrup. Please, please, please don't use the stuff that's fake. I'm just going to add a little syrup there. Doesn't that look fabulous? It's so good. So here you have a fabulous Mother's Day breakfast that you can serve your own mom. I'm going to enjoy mine with a little bit of fresh squeezed orange juice. And Mom, happy Mother's Day to you. I love you very much. Kisses from Paris.